Dang, you know what's crazy? I haven't seen you since last year. I'm so sorry. I don't know. I don't know why I did that. I'm so sorry. All right, what is up? Welcome back to another video on the channel. I hope you guys are all having a good day so far. We are in 2026, man. It is so crazy that this year is basically already started, I guess. I was gonna say ended, but it already ended. We're kind of in a new year. Hopefully, if you guys are watching this video right now, you have a lot of goals you want to hit for this year. You have a lot of things you want to kind of just move towards for the new year. I feel like the biggest thing that I've kind of realized from the last 3 months of 2025 going into 2026 is that a lot of times the goals that we think we have are really just like forward momentum into another goal, right? And what I mean by that is like maybe you have something like, oh, I want to do this thing, but you can do it like in a few days. It doesn't have to take the entire year, but that sets you up for another long-term goal that you can then spend the entire year working on. So I think it's pretty cool about the fact that a lot of us are a lot more goal-oriented nowadays, and it feels a lot more possible at the start of a new year. I know that feeling, and I know how a lot of people probably feel like there's just a lot of stuff they want to do. They want to just jump off the building and just go directly nosedive into whatever they want to do. But I need you to really listen to what I'm about to tell you. If you have goals for the year, the biggest thing you can do to absolutely guarantee you hit them is to break that goal down. Okay, breaking that goal down will make your chances of hitting it so much better. And I want to kind of talk about how I'm choosing to do that for this year, along with kind of breaking my year into quarters, because that is essentially how I plan on actually taking over this year, is by actually setting up a system of consistent metrics that I can follow over the course of the entire year. That way, every single quarter, the first through fourth quarter, I'll actually be able to check what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, and how I can kind of tweak and make adjustments. That way I know moving into the next quarter that I'm more prepared for what's coming next. So as you all know, a year basically has about 12 months in it, and every quarter makes up about 3 months. So you essentially have 4 quarters in the year. And what I'm trying to do is break this year down into kind of a metric that I can actually follow and develop the process that I want to do moving into the next quarter. So if I'm being very honest, 2025 was actually a pretty solid year. I'd say the biggest part was like the last 3 months of the year, aka the fourth quarter, because that is where I saw a lot of growth and development, and I saw a lot of kind of stacking of goals and metrics that I wanted to follow going into this year right now. I feel like when I first kind of started going into the year of 2025, I was kind of the impression that as long as I have an idea of what I wanted to do, that was going to be just enough to carry me throughout the entirety of the year. And even though I did things like set up a calendar and plans and, had very kind of similar goals that I wanted to hit, genuinely knowing that I had the idea of doing something wasn't enough. Okay, you need to have an actual metric that you can follow and track throughout the entirety of the year. And that's actually why I chose to break this year down into quarters, is because I wanted to know that instead of trying to hope that I just ride the momentum all the way throughout the entire year, I actually have a system that I can follow and know when I'm doing right and when I'm doing wrong, and I can make adjustments as I go. Now, when I first started kind of taking my goal setting a lot more serious about like 2 years ago, or maybe like a year and a half ago, I immediately began to realize that where most people tend to fall short of is thinking that they're going to spend the entire year, every single day, every hour of every single day, working on their goals, right? And obviously that's wishful thinking. We all want to think that we can just spend, one full calendar year achieving everything we set out to do. If we really could, it would be so much easier to do everything. But we all live lives, right? We all have real life, and real life gets in the way of everything we want to do. Maybe you have a job, maybe you're in school, maybe you have kids. I don't know who is watching this right now. You might be older than me. I'm only 21, going into 22, and my life is relatively free, right? I still live at home, which is a very thankful thing. I'm very blessed to have the opportunity to do that. I work a relatively okay job right now, making good enough money to do some things. I'm not gonna say everything, but I can do enough things with it. And the goal that I really want to have for this year is to not only maximize my own personal development, but maximize the opportunities that I can land myself and put myself into getting. Because if you know anything about life and just really achieving goals, a lot of times being the person that is prepared for whatever comes your way is so much better than being the person who's trying to actively scramble themselves together when an opportunity comes that they want to be a part of. I don't know why the last part cut off, but a part of the opportunity that they want to be a part of. I don't know what happened right there. I think my camera's dying. That's another thing I got to do, is buy a new phone and maybe even a camera. I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna wait a little bit just because my MacBook cannot edit anything. I gotta buy a new one and probably even spend more money on that. So I might just buy a new phone for now. But essentially trying to reinvest back into myself to prepare myself for the opportunities that I want to see. I feel like when you are convincing yourself that you can just run into any room and just be like this big guy and never have to worry about actually having to stand on the things that you said that you know, or prepare yourself for what's about to come next, you are so much more likely to crumble under the pressure of actually meeting expectation compared to doing the work now, doing the shadow work, doing the self work now, when you don't really have a lot of things coming directly at you. That way, when the opportunities do show up, you're significantly more prepared and willing to do what it takes to get there. So one of the first things I really wanted to do this year that I should be actually doing either this week or the week after is buying my first car. If you guys don't know, in the last video, I think I kind of talked about it, but I just got my driver's license at 21 years old, which I know sounds insane, right? Some people said, oh, I got it at 16, I got it at 17. And look, that's great. Look, awesome. I'm not trying to downplay it, but this is something that was pretty hard for me to get only because of the fact that for me, I struggled with a lot of confidence when it came to things like driving, and also just kind of knowing that I had the possibility to actually achieve completing the test in the first place. I feel like there was a lot of doubt and a lot of uncertainty around me, and that doubt and uncertainty kind of kept me stuck in a place that I wasn't really the biggest fan of being at. In fact, for a while, it made me feel like I couldn't really be the person I wanted to be just because I lacked that level of identity, because I didn't have the thing that proved that I can actually maneuver through this world, which I know sounds a lot more deep than it might actually be. But when you're someone who spends your entire life always being in the passenger seat of other people's cars and essentially in their life story, when you really think about it, you begin to understand how important it is to depend. You realize how much dependence you have on other people and how it takes you away from you. You realize how much dependency you have on other people and how it takes away from you being your own version. You realize how much dependency you have on others and how it's really hard to become your own independent person. And the second I got that license and I left that BMV, which by the way, that trip was insane. I remember walking in there and I remember trying to hand them my BMV license, or not my BMV license, my certificate from the driving school I did to get with it. And they had the craziest attitude. I was trying really hard not to lose composure. I didn't, obviously, but here's the thing. I understand working at the BMV sucks sometimes, but that never gives you the right to make people's day a living hell, okay? So I'm gonna break this down real quick because I don't want to take too much time doing it. But on the log sheet where you write your hours down, because mind you, I already had the slip, but you need the log sheet as well. I handed her the log sheet. On that sheet, I wrote the numbers down for the amount of hours that I did per driving session, which, you know, like you could probably guess it's hours, not like 7 minutes. I mean, I probably could have been 7 minutes, but I would have specified if they really need me to. But when I got to the counter, there was no line as well. So I was like, oh my God, because you know anything about the BMV or the DMV, there's always 1,000 people in the lines. I handed the paper. I'm like, okay, I got the receipt from the driving school to get my license. And this lady's gonna look at me in my face, okay? Look me in my face, right? Mind you, I'm just getting off of the high from getting my license. I left the driving school, was super excited. My driving instructor was a pretty cool guy. Forgot his name, but shout out to you. And she looks me in the face and says, oh, well, you don't have the words hours written next to each of the numbers. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's a mistake. Okay, I'll just write down hours. And I was like, oh, can I just write it down? She looks me in my face and tells me I have to wait. I have to pick up a number and come back to this desk once I pick up a number to write the word hours next to like maybe 7 or 8 numbers on the chart. Now, mind you, when that happened, guess what? All the customers started flying in. I don't know if it was like a last minute frenzy and they were about to close. Like, I didn't think this was gonna take that long. I thought I'd come in, hand the paper, hand the little, log sheet, and be done. And it really is that simple. Like, once this happened and I got past this, it was that simple. She tried to sabotage me to make me have to wait and then eventually say that they're closed, because if I had to actually wait like a long period of time, they would have basically been done. They would have been closed for the day. And I would have lost my opportunity to get my license, which meant that basically someone tried to ruin my day. Ruin my day. And then I get to the counter, I finalize everything, and the lady that was finalizing it has something to say. So I don't care if they somehow watch this video. If they do, yeah, screw you, bro. Like, what the hell are you doing? But I did not let that get me down, and now I have a driver's license, so that is pretty cool. But let me tell you something, man. If you work in a government building, and look, I know how hard these jobs can be sometimes. I know it's really taxing on your mental, but please try not to take that on everybody else, okay? Don't take that out on everybody else. Some of us don't have anything to do with what you're currently going through, and now you're gonna make our day a living hell because you don't like your life. That's tough. But 2026 is definitely going to be a very great year. I'm very excited for the momentum and the stuff I want to do this year. I definitely feel like if you're somebody who is feeling like your life has kind of just been in this constant cycle of waking up, you know, doing the same things day in, day out, not seeing any results you want to see, this is definitely a great time to approach 2026 with a lot more of a realistic and more momentum building approach, right? So if you're someone who isn't 100% sure how you're going to achieve the goals for this year, genuinely break down every goal that you have into actionable steps that you can do every single day leading up into a quarter, right? So for me, if it's like doing something like, you know, gaining 20 pounds, right? One of my goals is trying to put on some more weight. The boy's been lacking size. So I'm going to try to plan a nutrition system that allows me to put on about a pound a week, you know, ideally a pound a week. And over the course of 4 weeks, that'll be about 4 pounds. And over the course of a quarter, which is that times 3, will be 12 pounds, right? So within about maybe a few months, I'd be able to gain not only more than my actual goal, but if I did end up slipping up or falling off, I'm still on track for hitting that goal for that quarter. So setting up systems in place will definitely help you out so much more, and I really recommend it for anybody that's watching. If you're someone who has a lot of goals you want to hit this year, do not be afraid to set up a system that allows you to not only hit those goals, but to actually stay on track of those goals throughout the entirety of the year, because that is how you're going to make sure that 2026 becomes the year that you actually see the change that you want to see. So if you're watching this video right now and you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Happy 2026. I hope you guys all have a good day. Also, Merry Christmas. I forgot to say that. I think a lot of you probably already like forgot Christmas passed because it felt like it was like already like a week. Christmas didn't even feel like Christmas this year. But hope you guys have a good day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.